Welcome to the second episode of Afternoon at the Movies, a series of podcasts devoted to reviewing movies available at your local library. My name is Joe, and with me again is
Dauveen.
And we both work for the Charles County Public Library. Today, in honor of Black History Month, we're going to talk about a documentary simply called 761st, and it chronicles the activity of an all-black tank battalion during World War II. We've all heard of the Tuskegee Airmen. They're very famous, but I got to thinking there's got to be somebody else representative of black combat veterans of World War II.
That is true, Joe. And until you recommended this documentary to me, I had never heard of the 761st.
And it's comprised mostly of interviews with actual veterans who fought for this tank battalion.
One thing that struck a chord with me was how the black soldiers from the North talked about their first experience with prejudice.
All new to them.
Yeah, down at their base camps in Louisiana. They mentioned how the white German POWs were allowed to go to the PX, but they were not allowed to.
That was amazing to me. Even though they were American citizens, they had fewer privileges than German prisoners of war.
The average life expectancy for someone fighting in tanks was 17 days.
So, these guys had to have guts.
We spoke to their motto, to come out fighting. That's what they did.
Yes, and then they fought for 183 straight days. They didn't get a break, unlike other white units. They do mention one specific veteran from this tank battalion named Sergeant Reuben Rivers. He won a Silver Star for one action. In a second action, he had a tank shot out from under him. He was wounded, but got into a second tank and kept fighting and was killed. He was recommended for the Medal of Honor, but the upper echelon of the military decided that the Silver Star was recognition enough.
And that speaks to the general lack of recognition the black soldiers got, because the white soldiers received their medals on the field, but that was not the case with the black soldiers.
And they fought side by side. They did equal amount of fighting. They were in the Battle of the Bulge. And because of this experience, fighting alongside white soldiers and proving to themselves they were just as good when they came back home, they weren't willing to settle anymore for the prejudice that was exhibited.
And this spearheaded the civil rights movement in the United States.
They ultimately were recognized by several presidencies, but it wasn't until the Carter administration and then the Clinton administration, where Sergeant Rubens was finally recognized, that they got their full due. So we would highly recommend this movie, and perhaps it will spur you on to look into other African-American veterans, not only of World War II, but of other combat situations. Hope to see you next time.